Hey, it's Clay, CPAP My Way, CPAPmyway.com. Today we are here to discuss the new Luna G3 from 3B Medical. So this is their latest version of CPAP, and it is replacing the Luna 2, which was an awesome machine. We had a ton of great track record with it. It had some downsides that this machine really probably accounts for, in my opinion, but it was a good machine. Very few failures, it was quiet. It was just a little big and bulky and a little wonky on a couple of things that this has really been a great improvement on. All right, so in this video, we're gonna go over a few things. First thing we're gonna start off with is the overall features of this Luna G3. From there, we're gonna jump into the patient menu so that you can get an idea of how to adjust the settings in the unit and some things that'll help you along your path of getting used to this Luna G3. At that point, we'll crank it up. We'll put a mask on so you can hear me wearing the mask, what it sounds like with somebody breathing on it. Everybody always accuses me of making it sound too quiet by covering up the tube. So on this one, we're gonna put a mask on and breathe. And then finally, I'm just gonna give you my rundown on the features and benefits and how they stack up compared to other units and why you might like this or dislike it compared to other selections. As always, if you appreciate the information, we appreciate the thumbs up. And if you want more information, subscribe. We'll keep the content coming. And then additionally, if you have any questions, comments, or maybe you have some experience you'd like to share, we love that in the commentary. I do my very best to answer anything that I can and do whatever research necessary to get you some answers if there's a question. So let's jump right in. To start with, I kind of want to break down the differences between the Luna G3 and the old Luna 2. First and foremost, when you look at the unit, it is a front-facing operation, right? So if you're laying in the bed and you're looking over at the unit, you can see clearly what's going on. You can navigate with the navigation button here instead of the top design. Additionally, you'll notice it's a lot smaller. Dimensionally, it's only taking up about 4.5 inches by about 10.5 inches. So probably a little less than the size of a shoe on your nightstand, which is nice. We know the nightstand real estate is hard to come by. Additionally, it's only 3.5 pounds. So it's not a whole lot to pack up and take along with you. As far as the features on the unit itself, it has a standard tubing connection on the back. So that's the first place I always like to start. The unit can take any standard CPAP tubing in addition to their new heated tube, which has a specific little cord that allows you to plug in. We'll get to a little bit more of that later. But as long as your tubing has a 22mm hookup, it hooks up fine on this particular unit. The other thing that's really nice, and I don't know if you're going to see on it back here whether it shows you or not, but it has a built-in cell modem on most of these units now, which means that there's nothing to attach to the back like there was on the old Luna 2, and it automatically uploads your data to the cloud so that you can get compliance reports for maybe DOT purposes, or if you're just needing to follow up with your doctor, it can be sent there as well, which is a nice feature. It does have the SD card, which I'll show you in a minute, but it's not as necessary on this particular model. The other thing you'll notice right off the bat is the humidifier setup. It's right here on the right side. One really cool feature about it is that you can fill it while it's attached to the CPAP. Being able to fill the humidifier without removing it is actually a pretty cool deal for a lot of users. Additionally, when you're looking at it here, to remove the humidifier, it's important to know you have to press down on it till it clicks. You'll hear it pop loose and it'll raise up just enough to let you know that it is off of the unit. This is your heater plate, obviously, and the humidifier itself. It is dishwasher safe, so you can take it out on the once a week heavy clean. Just put it in the top rack of the dishwasher like this, and it will clean and sterilize it for you. So keeping up with maintenance is pretty simple. Press it on the exact same way you took it off. It'll click to let you know that it's locked in. It is important that you have it locked in. If it's raised up at all, it will leak air. It'll be very obvious. You'll hear it very quickly, and you'll know something's wrong. It's important to use distilled water only in here. If you're using tap water or any other kind of mineral water, you're going to get mineral buildup, and you'll have to clean it more often. We recommend dumping it out every day, filling it at night, so you don't have a bunch of stagnant water collecting mold, mildew, and bacteria. One more thing I wanted to show you while that humidifier is off is that your SD card is actually located inside here. So there's a little rubber flap. If you give that a pull, you will notice inside you've got your SD card. So this is a 8 gig card. The Majority of doctors these days and suppliers are using the cell modems, and for now these are coming standard with cell modem for us. I know there's been some part shortages lately, but we have been able to get all of ours so far with cell modems. If you needed a manual download, you do have that option, and we do have a video that'll show you how to do a manual download on Luna machines as well that I'll link in here as well. The other thing I want to point out on this unit is the filter location. So on the back here, you'll see a little vented cover. If you just press down on the top of that, it releases, and you have a washable filter in here. Okay. This filter should be rinsed out once a week, dry it off, and stick it right back in the exact same way you got it out. And so it's a pretty simple operation. It's a really nice setup, and we've definitely enjoyed the upgrades versus the Luna 2. Let's get it hooked up and we'll take a look at the patient menu for you. All right, so the cord for the G3 here will plug into the back right up here at the top right corner, okay? When you first turn it on, or when you first plug it in, you'll notice that it goes through a little startup, and then it'll take you to your main screen here. On that main screen, the first thing that'll be lit is preheat. So if you're a person that lives in a colder climate or keep your house real cold and you would like to preheat it, you can press that and it'll start a little timer to let you know that it is preheating over the next 30 minutes. You'll also notice that a little bit of air starts coming out of the humidifier. That's normal. You can cancel that preheat by just pressing the button again. Scrolling over to the right, we've got accessories, right? So you will see your filter, your tubing, and your mask. It gives you kind of a rundown of how many days you've been on them. And that's a nice feature to just know how much time you put in on them. You can reset those at any time by hitting the reset button along the bottom as you change them out, that is. The next selection here is mask. So you're going to see mask type. You can go from full face to nasal pillow, or if you're confused about what you got, other, right? So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to put it on nasal because I'm going to try on a nasal mask in a few minutes here. Then you can also do a mask fit, which is a great deal, right? So it'll crank the machine up to a moderate pressure. While your mask is on, it'll tell you the mask seal level, right? So currently we're great. If that mask wasn't sealing real good, it tells us to adjust. We get it adjusted and we're back to great. So that's a cool feature as well. Press the button to stop that fit. Press the home button to go back. The next section is going to be your report, right? So this is going to give you a rundown of exactly what's going on in your usage summary over here. So if you click on usage summary, obviously this is a brand new unit. You're not going to see a whole lot of information, but this will give you pretty much all the relevant information that you would need to keep track of your therapy. That home button will take you back to this screen. This is where you'll find, if you scroll, your iCode QR code if you're going to upload to the app. And then if you want to iCode string, you go over to the right, and this is the string you can navigate as to which day you would like up at the top, 7-day, 30-day, 90-day. All right, I'm going to back out to the main screen here. And the final selection over here is your setting, right? So you've got your current humidifier setting that can go as low as off or as high as 5. A nice new feature on this particular model is it has the auto humidifier feature, which is a cool deal. Currently, we've got heated tubing unconnected. I'm going to go through the rest of this menu, then I'm going to plug in a heated tube so you can see that update. The next option over here is ramp time. So if you highlight that, you can increase it, which will be the amount of time it takes to get from your starting pressure up to your therapy pressure, or decrease it if you want the pressure to come up a little bit quicker by turning it all the way to off, as low as off, I should say. One nice new upgrade on this unit versus the 2 is that it now has an auto ramp feature, so it'll monitor your breathing as you slow into that sleep breathing pattern. It'll go ahead and put the unit into therapy mode for you. Selection down here is your tube type. It could be 22 millimeter, which is the old school kind of standard CPAP tube, 15, which is considered slim, and then if we plug in the heated tube in a minute, it'll actually update all that for us on its own. Accessories, again, is going to discuss your filter, your tubing, and your mask. These are just setting reminders so that the machine will pop up and say, hey, don't forget to change your filter, your tube, or your mask. You can leave those off, or you can set it to different time frames to give you a little notification. After your accessory reminder selection, everything else is pretty much associated with your screen and display and screensavers and that nature. Those will all be things that you can adjust, to your own discretion. You'll notice there's a Wi-Fi selection. Now, this is a cell modem unit, so I don't have the option of setting up the Wi-Fi, but in a Wi-Fi model, you would be able to click on that and set up your Wi-Fi. Here you can set your time, the date format, typical, all the details of display can be found here. All right, so as we plug in the heated tube, you'll notice that our middle selection here, which says unconnected heated tubing, will change. And it's going to change to auto. That is because our humidifier is currently set to auto, right? So if we change that to 5 and scroll over here, then we will have manual setting options on the heated tube. I honestly, especially if you're just starting off, would recommend putting both the humidifier in auto and the heated tube in auto, in addition to the ramp time in auto. So auto across the board if you're using heated tubing, or just auto and auto to start off with, because the machine has a built-in hydrometer and thermometer. It's constantly measuring your room's conditions. So it's probably going to do a better job than you as far as keeping those settings adjusted. Of course, you can manually adjust them at your own discretion if you'd like to. But just keep in mind that if you're increasing your humidifier setting, you're probably going to have to increase your tube setting as well. Those two usually are pretty closely tied together. And that is all the settings. You'll also notice one really cool upgrade about this one is it tells you exactly what your settings are in the clinical side right on the front. So there's never a question as to what you're on, right? We know this one's set in auto with a minimum of 7, a max of 13, and currently the Reslex is turned off. I really like that particular feature because it's so often that people have absolutely no idea what setting they're on, if they're doing a prescription renewal, or if they're just trying to find out if they've accidentally changed settings. They have no clue without us walking them through the whole clinical menu, I should say. So that's a cool new feature, and really one that's only on this home screen of this particular unit. All right, for the sake of demo here today, we're going to use the Viva masks. This is a 3B machine. We probably ought to use a 3B mask. So right off the bat, it has an auto on feature, and it is already turned on. It's a pretty sensitive little deal, so it kicked off before I got my mask fitted all the way. But anyway, we're currently running at a, let's see here, at a real minimal pressure. So I'm gonna turn that up a little bit so you can get an idea of what it sounds like at a higher pressure. All right, so this is running at a setting of 10. So you can hear it's pretty darn quiet. You can hear really basically my breathing on the machine. So as far as the operation of it, it is super quiet. And it has that very sensitive auto on feature, which is cool. By the time you've got your mask fitted, the machine's already cranked up and into running. Overall, I really like this unit. We've had it now for a couple of months. We've done quite a few of them. We've obviously demoed it quite a bit. We've had no negative feedback on it whatsoever. And if it has anywhere near the durability of the Luna 2 with all these extra new features and functionality upgrades, it is going to be a good unit for the long haul. It has a setup kind of similar to the old AirSense 10, so it's a really good design in my opinion, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. As always, we really appreciate the thumbs up if you enjoyed the information. If you want more information, definitely subscribe. We will do our best to keep good content coming. And I really do appreciate you watching. If there's any questions, concerns, things you feel like I should address further, throw them in the comments. I will do my very best to do so. Thanks again.